So we're going to set up your individual blog and get you started with the class blog. So the first thing we're going to do is actually set up your blog. If you have used blogs with other classes, you have some idea of where to start. If you haven't, what you're going to do is go to blogger.com. Okay, so blogger.com is going to be your dashboard. Now, I have a dashboard because I have several blogs. Yours won't have anything if you haven't done this before. It will maybe say create, maybe get started. You'll want to create a blogger ID, that kind of thing. So sort of follow along and work through it. I'm sure you've signed up for things before. And again, make sure that you're in your school email and not another Gmail account because we want this to be affiliated with your school Gmail account. So to start with a new blog, you want to click on New Blog. And this is the dialog box that you will get. Now the title is what we will see at the top of your blog. So for this class, you're going to want to put either medals by yourself, or maybe you're in the ceramics class, and maybe you're in the advanced or whatever. Maybe you're in the yearbook for the first time. Something along those lines. You can put, something a little more generic. That's fine. This title can be changed each semester if you're taking a different class. If you're taking more than one class, you could title it a couple of things for the semester. So that's a variable component. You can change that at any time. It is helpful to have your name in it, though, if you could have your first name. And it might be helpful to have your first name, first initial. I have a couple of people that have the first name and different last names in various classes, so sometimes that can be really useful. What you don't want to do is put your full name on there. Just generally, these things are public, and we want to be a little bit cautious about that. Now, the thing that won't change will be the address. The address is your URL, and that's a static thing. Once you make that URL, you don't get to change that later. So you may want to put something like, and you can't have spaces, so you could do something along those lines, like that, blogspot.com, that's fine. You could have something, something fun. I've had people use some humor. Just as long as it's school appropriate, we're good. And it helps if when I look at it, I can tell whose it is. Some people will make one blog and use it for multiple things, and they'll use their school ID, your Gmail login. That's fine too. Whatever works for you generally. Then I would say pick a template here. You can choose whichever one you like. The simple one is particularly easy to use. The dynamic views people tend to like, but it's a little more difficult to make everything happen in. But it's up to you. Once you have that, then you are going to create your blog. Now, I obviously don't need another blog, so I'm not going to do that, but that's what will happen. So once you create your blog, it will bring you to your dashboard. And in your dashboard, you will have the list of blogs. In this case, you'll have one. You might have this if the class blog if you've been invited to it yet. But for now, you'll have your blog, and then you can click on your blog. The interesting thing about your blog, and I'll just go here and pretend this is it. Once you click on it, it brings you into where you can edit it, edit settings, add posts, add pages, that whole thing. So generally, there are two things we want to do before we get started here. One is going to settings, and under basic settings, you'll see the title. This is where you can edit the title if you decide to change it later. There's a description. If you don't have your name in the title, you could put your name in the description. That would be helpful. I might suggest not listed on Blogger and not visible to search engines. We're going to do that down here, which is where we can see blog readers and what our options are for that. You do want to have it open to the public so that I can see it and so that, say, your folks could see it or whatever. So we want to make that an option there. Excuse me. And we want to go up here to privacy. And you don't need it listed in blog listings for people to kind of randomly run across. So I might suggest doing no and no on here. Really, the only people that need to see your blog are the people that have the link. In which case, that'll be me and anybody else you give the link to, and anyone that comes to the class blog, because the link will be there. So that's the plan. If you can do the privacy on no for that and save it, you should be all set. And just know that you can always come back to this at any time and change these things. The other thing that you'll be using at a later date is the layout. You will eventually need a pages gadget. There's an add a gadget. You probably have an add a gadget thing here, and then you click on it and add pages. But that's after we get some work that we can then highlight in the pages like a portfolio. So back to the overview. What you will be doing is every week you'll be creating a post. Now you can see all of your posts here, and you can see that your name will be affiliated with it. The date and time will be affiliated. You'll have the title of it here that you have to put in. You can always edit it. You could delete it. All of these lovely things. So this is important. You will also need tags for the class blog, but we'll deal with that in a minute. So when you go to make a new post, you're going to be making a new post each week. So over each weekend, just know that you'll have the homework of making a post. Now, the first post, week 1, it is exceptionally helpful if you title all of your posts according to the week. And you need to post them in chronological order so that they come up the way they're supposed to. So don't skip any along the way. Even if you need to make a blank one to hold a place and then go back and edit it later, you can do that, but you want to keep them in order. So week 1, what you will be posting in each post for your individual blog will be related to, let me go over here, the prompts in the class blog. I'm going to pull some up for you. For example, these are all of the prompts for last semester. Now I'm going to go down here to August for the fall semester and show you roughly what week 1 blog prompts, what the first week blog prompts look like. So every week I will post prompts specifically for your class, and I will make a suggestion of what photos to include, what I expect you to include. You can always include more of yourself working or the work in progress or anything along those lines. And what I would suggest doing is copying this, going to your blog. Obviously, we don't need all of these, but this is your reminder for what you need to include. Now, you could just put in here, okay, I need to include photos of my sketches, and then you would upload a photo, right? Insert an image, not a difficult thing. Choose a file. The files, you want to make sure they are, oops, let me go to desktop, and I think I have student work. Okay, let's see, from a glaze fire, this will work. Now, this is not too bad. This is an image, and this is 2.2 meg. It's kind of a large image, but that's doable. If you have a shot that's maybe a screenshot, that'll be smaller. This is only 185 kilobytes, so that becomes even more viable. And here, oh, we'll just open that, that'll be fine. Is, for example, a sketch, a photo of a sketch that you might be including. So that kind of thing. And then you would add selected and it would show up in your blog. So you have that. Oh, actually, let me do this for real. Let me choose another one. And That 2.6 meg. All right, that looks like a piece of something. You can alternate the sizes of the images in your blog. If it's a sketch, you want to make sure that we can really see what we're working with. Oh, I know what this is. This is a kind of thing that you might actually include. This is a picture of you working or a work in progress that shows some scale and what it is you're doing to the process. When you click on the picture in Blogger, you have the option of changing the size within your blog. Now, I would suggest at least a medium and perhaps a large, and even perhaps if it's a horizontal, an extra large picture, depending on how much detail we need to see. This one's not too bad at a large size. You can also right or left justify. If you want the text wrap around your photos, it's a nice touch. You can do that and then have some on the left and some on the right. You can also add a caption, and this gives us a very clear idea of what it is we're looking at. Handle, adding height to side, because the handle came off the top, so I had to add a little bit back in. So there you go. And then just click in, and you can then, for example, we don't need these to be bloop, bulleted anymore. And then you can just respond to all of the prompts in here. And it does help to have it, if you're pasting in the prompts, to have your work maybe not bulleted or have it in a slightly different size or a different font or a different color or something, so that the answers and the prompts can be separated. So that would be very, very useful. That's pretty much it for that. When you are done, you're going to want to publish that. Don't save it. You can save it, certainly, if you're like, oh, I'm making a draft and I'll get back to that later. But in order for me to see it, and therefore it to become something gradable, you need to publish. So when you publish that, it will become visible on your blog. So there's my week one that I just made. And if you want to see what that looks like, you click on this View Blog button and it will come up and it'll show you what that blog post looks like. Okay? So always make sure that it's visible by doing that, because otherwise, if it's not here, I can't see it, right? I can only see what you have on your blog. So that's important. Okay, so that takes you through creating your blog. It takes you through making your first blog post. It takes you through finding the prompts, right? The prompts are in the class blog, and you just click on prompts. And for you, it'll be the most recent one at the top, because that'll be the most recent week. If you miss a week, you may have to scroll down, but I don't recommend skipping a week, because you want to do this every week right along. Otherwise, it will be late, and late is not good. And it's always due by Monday at 3. So that should be all set. And then you'll see here we have some fall blogs from last semester, and you can go see other people's blogs who took the classes before you. And soon, after everyone gets their blog set up, there will be a page just like this for second semester. And then you can go click on the blogs of people in your class and see what they're up to. And feel free to leave a comment or two if you like. So that is it for now, and we will talk about the class blog in another video. Thanks.